Hey guys, Bearded Brokers here. What is going to happen in 2023? Will interest rates continue to hike up?
Will prices continue to go down?
One thing we know for sure is it's going to be really hard to forecast. However, we are armed with some of what the experts have to say.
And we are the Bearded Brokers.
Yes, we'll have our own scenario that we'd like to lay out for you. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
If you want to know what's going on in the 2023 housing market,
this video is for you.
All right, guys, let's get into interest rates.
Ooh, yeah.
We've never seen such a fluctuation of interest rate, I think, ever. We had months of 1 point appreciation. Mortgage companies were going out of business. Loan Depot, Sprout, it was just mayhem.
Absolute mayhem. While home buyers were suffering from the highest prices we've seen and the highest interest rates we've seen in a long time at the same time. So they had to pull back out, and put it on the brakes.
Yeah. Somewhere around March, the Fed started hiking the rates. So we saw between, I think it was May and June, it went up 2%. So we started the year off at 3% interest rates. We ended at 7%.
Crazy change.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So I hear that experts are predicting less volatility coming up. It's going to be more even kill and less aggressive like that. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so the Feds were saying in December that they were going to hike interest rates up another 3/4 of a point. They've backed off that now. Now they're saying maybe a 1/4 point. We're not really sure. We'll see what happens. But February 1st, we were supposed to have another hike. But it's good to see that it's not like something crazy like 1 point or anything anymore.
Yeah, they originally said, was it December, they were going to hike it up 3/4 of a point, and instead they did 1/2 a point. It's showing their hand that they're pivoting their plans.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it as aggressively as they were before. So we hope that trend continues. And where do you think the interest rates will end up going?
Bro, I think interest rates are going back to 5%. I really do. Some of the industry experts are in agreement. Some don't really know what's going on. But my gut's saying that we're going to show that the job growth is going to be weaker. I think we'll probably hit like some kind of a light recession. And they're going to have to bring rates down to more of a reasonable level.
We have a lot of the expert predictions on our blog. So if you can go to palmbeachhomesinfo.com, check out the blog right there. Please subscribe to it. Obviously, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out helpful content just like this. The link to the blog will also be in the comments below. So please take a look at that, and you'll see all of the expert data that we put on there. Well, that brings me to another point, which is affordability. That's been the huge name of the game in the housing market, has been the affordability. So, we talked about interest rates. We could also talk about the prices. Most people, when they think affordability, they think the housing prices. So what I'm noticing is that the housing price is actually between November of last year and November of this year, which we just got the November numbers back.
Yeah.
They're up 10%. So they're not down. They're not crashed.
Yes.
They haven't crashed. They're up 10%. But month over month, they are sliding on a downward trend. The prices are coming down. So what do you think about what's happening with prices?
All right, so we're getting into a bearded broker prediction here.
Here we go.
Here it is. So I'm thinking, we're thinking that we're going to continue to see buyers negotiate hard on these deals with sellers. I'm thinking maybe with 5-7% by mid-year. So there's going to be a point of critical mass here where we're going to be like, prices are coming down a little bit, maybe 5, maybe 7%, but then interest rates are going to be dropping down too, and buyers are going to start coming back out of the woodwork. So at that point, I feel like mid-year, we're going to see a turnaround, and it's going to start going back up. So however much it came down, it'll probably go up that much. We might end the year net positive 1-2% appreciation.
Yeah, I've been saying this about 2022, that it's like a football game was going on, and it was crazy. There was so much happening on the field of the housing market. and then these interest rates changed, the affordability changed, and buyers just left the field. It's like we're all still watching the football game with no players on the field almost. But all that means is as time goes on and as the months roll on, that demand is still sitting there. They still have their football uniforms on. They're still ready to play the game. When the affordability comes back, like you're saying, the interest rates and the prices meet at some point, I think all those players will rush back on the field, and we very well could end up right where we were earlier in 2022 with a very hot housing market. It's possible. It's very possible.
Bro, do you want to get into some numbers right now?
Let's break down the numbers.
You want to break it down?
Let's do it.
Median home price, Palm Beach County.
So the median home price of all types is at $440 for Palm Beach County and at the end of 2022. But for single-family homes, that median home price is $591,000. That's amazing. We really went up in Palm Beach County at a big level, and kind of broke all the records on that. So if someone was looking for a median price home, it's $591,000. Okay, so we broke down some numbers, right?
Yep.
And so I asked Brandon to do some numbers for me. If they were to make a 20% down payment at today's interest rates, which are averaging around 6.25%, and $3,500 insurance, $5,900 taxes, your monthly payment would be $3,695. That's pretty hefty.
Yep.
That's pretty strong. And that's speaking to that affordability.
Yes, absolutely.
However, if our prediction is true, and months ahead of us, that interest rate goes down to 5%, and say the price just stays the same. If the price doesn't even shift at all, at 5%, that same house with all the other same payments, 20% down, the same insurance as taxes, that price would be per month $3,322. That's $373 difference. Now that is an affordability adjustment for people. It's a huge change.
So we're talking about pricing brackets now. As a rule of thumb, every $50 of payment is worth about $10,000 of purchase price. So literally, it's taking you from the $590 bracket down into the $510 bracket.
Yeah, $517 I think was the number I put on it.
It's a whole different classification of house. So, you know, there'll be people getting back in the game when they see those interest rates drop.
Yeah. So let's say this household, their max was at $3,322. Today, all they could buy is $517. That's their max purchase price. If the interest rate goes to 5, that's now back to $591. Now what happens when that $591 house ticks down to $570? Let's say it's very possible.
Yep, we've been seeing it.
$565. It's very, this is I'm calling this a temporary buyer's market.
That's good, man.
During this temporary buyer's market, those prices can come down while the interest rates come down. What is going to happen to those buyers who've been sitting on the sidelines because they really want that $591 median house? That's what they want.
Yep.
But they can only afford $517, and their affordability goes up as the prices go down. They're going to be back in business. That's why I call it a temporary buyer's market, because right now sellers are offering concessions. They're buying interest rates down for these buyers. They're doing a lot of things to help buyers afford their home at the listing price that they want. So they're pulling out all the stops to make it work. So is it a good time to buy?
Yeah, I was just wanting to get into that. I think timing couldn't be better for a buyer right now. You're going to see inventory ticking up, continuing. We've already seen inventory tick up. Longer days on market, so you'll have more options. And we're going to start seeing interest rates sliding back downward. Now, you don't have to wait for the interest rates to go down. There's all kinds of creative financing options out there, 2-1 buy downs. You can actually have the seller pay towards closing costs to buy your rate down. We're doing all kinds of stuff like that to get the interest rate in a place where it makes it affordable for our buyers.
Yeah, today's the day. If you can be creative, this is the day to be creative. And that's where it was before, Brandon. I mean, I don't know about you, but there were some buyers. I made 14 different offers on 14 different houses before we actually got one, because there were multiple offers on every house. It was crazy. You had to show up the first hour and rush through, run through the thing as fast as you could and make an offer as fast as you could.
Yeah.
Now it's a little bit different place. You can go through and really be picky about homes, and you can decide which one's right for you and take your time and make a good solid choice and make a good solid offer and make things work. So I back you up in what you're saying. I think it's a good time to be doing it. It just comes down to this topic we're on now, which is affordability.
Yeah.
So as affordability improves, I mean, it's just going to get better and better this year.
And let's be clear about this too. We're seeing the market go back to a normal real estate market. We're in a pandemic craze like we've never seen before. Like we've never had, to make 14 offers for a buyer to just go under contract.
Mm-hmm.
In the history of real estate, I don't think anybody can actually say that. So now we're starting to see the frenzy kind of leave the market, and we're going back to pre-pandemic 2019, where it's actually pleasant to buy a house.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the home sales that have happened have changed dramatically. The peak was in June of 2022 when there were over 3,000 homes sold in Palm Beach County that month. And that's single family homes, by the way. That's not including condos. It's not including townhomes or anything like that. Just single family homes. There were over 3,000 of those sold in the month of June alone. And then now we have the November numbers, and that was 1,777 were sold that month. So it didn't fall off a cliff. That's still a lot of sales for just single family homes. But it's a huge decrease, and it's a huge change in the frenzy level. So hopefully that helps understanding where we're really at right now. And where we think will continue is that trend of flattening out how many homes are sold per month. Again, showing that inventory is creeping up just a little bit, not very much. I mean, it's crazy what's still happening.
Yeah.
But inventory is still kind of creeping up. You have a lot more choices to choose from.
And what's coming up on the horizon here is what really moves interest rates is the CPI reports and job reports. We're going to have another job report out from the White House in February, which I think is going to show a great decrease in jobs. So that's another reason why I think we're going to see the interest rate starting to trickle back down. And I'm predicting by mid-year, maybe May or June, we might be back into the fives. So you can hold me to that, This was recorded when now?
We're not telling. Let me talk to you about market predictions. Now in the news, you're going to hear a lot of talk about ups and downs and interest rates, and you're going to hear a lot about prices and things like this. But here's the fact of the matter. Most of these predictions are based on two things. National numbers, so across the whole country, and all of us know there are radically different parts of our nation doing radically different things. There are migration places that people are migrating from. Most are migrating to South Florida, as we know. So keep in mind that all the things you hear on national news are national numbers. The second thing, year-over-year numbers. They're looking from November of 2021 to November of 2022 and so on. They're looking year over year. And so we got to keep that in mind. Where what we are doing is we're right here down in the thick of it. We're very hyper-local. We're right here. I'll even tell you in Palm Beach County, we have such a different market here in Palm Beach County, different areas. Loxahatchee reacts really different these days than Wellington or Palm Beach Gardens or West Palm Beach. So these different areas are reacting very differently. So you want to think hyper-local, right where you are. You want to shrink those year-over-year numbers and look at what's happened in the last few months and what's happening really close to you. So that's where we as Bearded Brokers come in here in Palm Beach County. We want to speak to that very hyper-local, that very recent stuff that's happening to give you the leg up on what is to come. So let's talk about Palm Beach County. Check this out. According to Redfin, in November of 2022, Palm Beach County home prices were up 10% compared to last year, selling for a median price of $440,000. That's all different types.
All right, bro. So here's the question. I'm your average buyer out there now, Palm Beach County, $600,000 price point. Is now the time to buy Q1, Q2? What are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling that if you know your must-haves, you know what you want, and you know what you can afford, and you need to do it, you want to do it, then there is nothing that should stop you right now. You should go out there and be able to look for what you want, find what you want. If it's the interest rate that you're sensitive to, then we can work a negotiation to help you out with that interest rate, maybe get the seller to buy that down for you, because this is a temporary buyer's market. So take advantage while it's still around.
You know, the temporary buyer market could be a 1 quarter, 2 quarter. I think by mid-year you're going to start to see it swing back.
We covered a lot of stuff in this video. I just want to remind you the link to the blog is down here below, and you can see all the experts, predictions, and see all of where they got their information in that blog. And always the hyper-local, more recent activity you want to discuss with people like us. My name is Billy.
My name is Brandon.
And we are
the Bearded Brokers.